Hello, my name is Dmitro Lukyanov, and I'd like to present you infrastructure as a code approach by using Terraform. The demo that you will see today published at Alex Terraform Kubernetes demo on GitHub. Today we are going to create the following infrastructure. Kubernetes cluster with master and 2 workers. Inside Kubernetes cluster, we will have Grafana and Camunda running that will communicate to MySQL managed by AWS. Application load balancer that handles HTTP requests to our applications. And Bastion host that provides SSH access to our Kubernetes cluster. Also, it has a NFS shared folder that mounted as persistent storage for our applications, for our workers. That's it. Let's go through instructions. First of all, you need to have a user with the following permissions at AWS Cloud. Download the Terraform for your local computer. Generate key pair to access our Bastion host and the Kubernetes cloud. You need to use the following command line, and Windows users could use PuTTY kgen tool to generate this key pair. Define AWS credentials and other secure parameters of your deployment in the following file. Actually, this is an example, and you have to rename it and provide correct parameters. AWS access key and secret keys. Please create a Kubernetes token. It should be quite complicated. And the following parameters are not required unless you are going to run Camunda demo. And now we're ready to create our cluster. First of all, let's create a workspace. I already have a repository on my computer, and I am inside AWS demo Camunda. This is the main module for our project. Create workspace BPM demo. Init our project. This will download all modules and providers. And finally, create our cluster. Let me move myself to the right. At this point, Terraform compares my local status to the cloud status and suggest the changes, the resources that had to be created at the level of cloud or destroyed. Yep. I'm sorry. Yes. This operation will take approximately 10 minutes. While then, let's dig a little bit our code. So, we are talking about AWS demo Camunda. This is our main module for this demo. We have here variables declaration, all of them populated in configuration file. In main TF, we have provider and version declaration and their parameters, if required. Kub defines the Kubernetes cluster. You see how it's simple. We have here only main parameters of Kubernetes cluster. All other parameters or all the complexity moved to the source of module. Source you can find by this folder, and if it's published at GitHub, you can link it by this URL. All other parameters are quite simple: worker count, certificates, and command to run after cluster has been done. Some output parameters that we will see in console. Components file to define applications and modules that are running inside Kubernetes. Roles, just definition of the host names and ports. Let's look at Grafana, the source name of the module. Again, it's a module. You can find it by this folder. The name, namespace, image, replica count, resources, environment variables, claims. You see, it's quite simple. Database, as I told you, we're using AWS managed MySQL. And component for BPM. It's very simple. That's it. Let's wait for the end of the script. Let's look at our AWS dashboard. At the beginning, we had everything by 0. And I'm going to refresh. And now you can see volumes, instances, load balancers. Let's look at instances. And as expected, Bastion, 2 workers, and 1 master. Bastion has public IP, so by this public IP we could access with our SSH key. We could access Bastion and all other computers. Let's look at databases. Database. Our MySQL is available. So we're waiting just for EC2 instances to be completed. Still creating. And done. We have everything. And in the output, you can see the endpoints. Let's start from Kubernetes dashboard. Token. That's the one we specified in properties, Terraform properties file. And we see everything is green. We have Grafana, we have BPM. We can look at the log file. Yeah, Catalina start server. Oh, all is clean. We have nodes, 2 workers, 1 master in our cluster. Now let's go to BPM console. It's the same host but the different port. Let's go to the cockpit. We can log in with admin demo credentials. Just give it a sec. Admin demo. we see we have one deployment, business trip. It's a demo process for the Camunda. You can run it if you provided all the parameters in the Terraform properties file. And now let's look at Grafana. Admin demo. See here data sources predefined and dashboard with different okay, some of them are not working, but it doesn't matter, with some graphs. That's it. Everything works. And let's remove Grafana, for example. Destroy target. Module name defined here. Module Grafana. Yes. Destroyed. Let's look into Kubernetes dashboard. And yeah, we have just BPM and there is no Grafana. And now let's destroy the whole cluster, release all the cloud resources. Perform destroy. Yes. It will take some time, and let's look at our running instances again. Everything still running. And in a while, everything will disappear. And that's it. Let's check the cloud dashboard. And you see everything is 0 and just default security group. And look, let's look at our database. Oops, there is no database. Okay, I have to say that Terraform is a beautiful tool that helps to manage infrastructure. And the difference from others that you are not creating scripts to create or to destroy your infrastructure. You are describing infrastructure. And out of box, you already have commands to create or destroy this infrastructure in the cloud. Another point, that it runs all configurations in parallel. Of course, if there are some dependency, it will handle it. And because of this, creation and destruction of the cluster is really fast. Okay, enjoy using Terraform. Thanks for watching. Bye.